come on through here. All right. Hey, what's up? What's up, Turkey Noodle? I don't know what happened. Um, so yesterday it was technical issues with me and Ink. Today it seems to be technical issues with me and the Twitch Studio, which I think has been out for like 2 years. Yeah, no, it hasn't. It hasn't just been you. So at one point in time, uh, whenever I was looking at the countdown, it stopped at 56 and it just froze. So I restarted it, restarted the stream, and yeah, I guess no one was actually able to sign on. So it's not just you. Um, and that's fine. I mean, it's cool. I went ahead and started because I thought people might be able to go on and view things. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to this. I said a whole bunch of stuff. None of it's recorded. None of it's anywhere, and that's okay. Because what is cool is that we have the opportunity to just jump in and go with it. So, without further ado, here we go. Sorry, man. I don't know what happened. You know, hopefully, hopefully the kinks are worked out. Um, I know Twitch Studio has been around for a little bit. It's not nearly as uh, doesn't have nearly as many features as some of the paid applications that are out there. But I've never really, I mean, I haven't had a problem other than it not having the same, flash and pizzazz as some of the other things that are out there. So I don't know. I seriously doubt, like, judging from the fact that there's so much that just went on technically that I can't even begin to explain what went wrong. Hopefully, I didn't lose a couple. I thought there was one person that was watching, um, and maybe they just got disconnected same time that everybody else got disconnected, aka the same time that I got disconnected. So what I'm working on here, I think I've already showed you a preview. This is a cute little Cthulhu here. Um, what I'm attempting to do right now is actually make sure I'm giving enough space for these wonderful little, that cutesy light source that shows up, where it's like the shining eyeball things that happen on all the cartoons. And I think I did. I think I just did a pretty good job with that. Who knows? Man, I'm glad you're here. Oh my gosh, like it was getting really boring. I was looking up and I saw I had like 0 viewers, and I'm like, well, crap. Like I don't know what I did wrong. What did I do? Who did I offend today? Turns out it was nobody, or it could have been somebody. Man, I have these great hands. I could draw like a perfect circle. Thank you. You could draw a perfect circle as long as you give me like 80,000 strokes. Just let me make as many mistakes as possible. And I'll just pick what seems to be the best line for, for some circles. I'll erase all the bad ones. That's kind of how I draw. Definitely not the way that, tattoos should be. I'm pretty sure that the way a tattoo should be is like, oh, one pass. Oh, look, it's beautiful. That's not really how it works. What I was saying while no one was on is I'm actually going to use this. I've done some hatching before, but I think I'm going to try to use this liner for a little bit of some more advanced shading techniques. I realize that my skill set is not advanced, but you know how whenever you're doing something and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know you could do that. Like that looks awesome. I'm gonna try that. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I saw somebody using a much smaller needle grouping for some pretty interesting shading, and I thought, wow, that is amazing. I want to try that. Look at that. Stream closed captioner showed up. Thanks. It's good to see you. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. All right. Thanks for showing up, stream closed captioner. As soon as you get your website under control, I will most likely use you. Until then, we're just going to turn you off every time that you come up. Let's see. One of my favorite parts about this design is that it is really simple. He's the best. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I'm curious, but I can't ask them because I've deleted them. Uh, at least this time. Maybe tomorrow we can ask closed captioner what their pronouns are. But I swear, like every time that I do this, I find I'm fine, and then I find where the nerve actually is, and I hit it. Yep, that belongs to me. It doesn't make me jump. Doesn't hurt a whole lot. Just just enough to be annoying, I guess. So, Turkey Noodle, what are you playing tonight, man? Ah, we've talked about this. I think you need to have an intervention. I am glad to see you, playing something besides PoE. But so how is it? Like honestly, like scale of 1 to 10, your your opinion, Tiny Tina's. Got to let me know. Don't leave me hanging. Really, that was the first in the series that I played, and I hated it. I think I played for maybe 10 minutes, and I was like waiting for it to get good because everyone's like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever." But yeah, I just couldn't get behind it. I couldn't believe that there were so many people that I trusted in the world who would lie so hard to me, saying, "Oh yeah, this is a great game." I feel like they were getting paid to say it. That's how much I hated that game. It always annoys me that I never remember at any good point in time that Steam does offer refunds. Oh, you really didn't like this game? Yeah, no. I really did not like that game, Steam. It had to be one of the worst things I've ever played. And if I had it to do over again, I would not. Wish I could erase that time that I spent, even that 10 minutes. It was just bad. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never, like I said, Borderlands 3 was the first one that I played in the series. Everyone said it was great, blah, blah, blah. I just couldn't get behind it. I shouldn't say everyone said it was great. I'm sure that there was lots of people that would have said, hey, avoid this at all costs. And I just didn't, I didn't hear him. And that's okay. All right. Let's see where we're at here. I mean, dude doesn't look so bad. Like I'm pretty impressed. That was a really quick. What do you got there? Yeah, you say uncultured. I say educated. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I feel like I feel like more people who say it's good have a little bit less of an education than the people that don't. Yeah, thanks. You know what? I've been working on this. There's a couple of spots where I'm like, "Ooh, whoops, messed up," but for the most part, I think that's good. I'm gonna wipe it down. I kind of want to see where I'm gonna do some of this more advanced shading. I'm not sure how much. Excuse me. Gotta get my trusty bottle here. I'm not sure how much I actually said uh, before I actually had connectivity. But one of the things that I plan on experimenting with on this, yeah, see, oh yeah, clean lines, lots of ink, right? But look what happened. I'm right back to blue. This is okay though, and I'm going to tell you why. Because this gives me an opportunity. You're right though; those are some clean lines. It just looks like there's a lot of ink missing for some reason. Whatever. We'll get to it. But I plan on doing some more advanced shading techniques, and I'm not even going to switch needles. So we'll see how this ends up going. Uh, Before this gets too swollen and unworkable, though, I'm gonna go back over some of these lines. I'm gonna go nice and slow. I'm gonna tell you, as a person who has a fairly decent pain tolerance, this is not pleasant. At least I think I have a fairly decent pain tolerance. As long as we're not talking about the man flu. Oh man, man flu sucks, guys. It's the worst. No one ever feel any more pain than what I do whenever I've got the slightest common cold. You can ask my wife; she'll tell you. This bro, like that. That will put me. That will put me down for the count. Stretch that out a little bit more. I'm really trying to go slow because I think that I did those outlines, those initial lines. I just went way too fast. This is a thing. It's kind of a problem. She lives. Yeah, this is kind of a problem that I have with these. Is that I move way too quick, and I know professional tattoo artists would say there's no reason why this should take an hour. and they're right, but I have to go over it a couple of times because I moved way too quick that first time. This is my bad. This is a lesson that my leg keeps learning over and over again. Is that I should just slow down on the first initial lining process. Let's see where we are with that. Switch emojis. Being weird. I'm waiting for my dog to start barking. Any second now, guys. So something I read. I have a German Shepherd, or a Belgian Malinois, or some people pronounce it Malinois. Um, sorry, my bad. Um, here we go. How's that? Is that better? So what I didn't realize was that especially whenever we got this dog, I was like, oh, protector of the family, sure, blah blah blah, loyal, yada yada yada. I think we got the dumbest one of the group, but even dumbness aside, I did not realize that the Shepherd family of dogs has the loudest bark. I didn't really realize that. So every time that somebody that she knows and loves comes home, say my wife, myself, my kids, she doesn't care. She's still in frame there. She doesn't care. She still wants to yell at them. And with the loudest voice of any other dog breed out there, it becomes real annoying real quick. Not only that, but I'll be doing something like, being focused on something work related. In this case, drawing or trying to find another way to create something engaging while I'm doing this. But while I'm sitting there concentrating so hard, she lets out these yells, barks that are so loud. Oh my gosh, it just drives me nuts. I shouldn't say it drives me nuts. It scares the crap out of me. I think there's a reason why these things, it's smart or not smart as they are, depending on, breeding and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that she's dumb because of breeding. She's definitely not inbred. She's just extra, like seriously extra. And that's okay. Uh, why be normal when you can be extra? All right. So I'm only hurting myself. And a good thing about that is that I'm not hurting anyone else. But I would definitely suggest anybody who picks up the idea of tattooing, just take your time. Take your time on that first pass. It might be uncomfortable, especially as we're working here on kind of the upper thigh, not an area known for being super tough and awesome. It is an area known for not seeing a whole lot of sunlight, just like mine. Aw, you threw a Bob Ross my way? Bro, thank you. Thank you. I feel like I've been I feel like I've been paid. I feel like a professional now. Here's some happy little lines. Zip. Oh no. Let's get to these feet again, man. Actually, I want to come in on the kind of having a hard time here with this angle. I keep trying to convince my wife I need a smaller, more compact machine to get around these chair arms, but she sees through it. She knows I could just go get a different chair, but I don't want to hear that mess. What I want to hear is, yes, sweetheart, you need this. You should get it. Because who doesn't? Who doesn't want to hear that? Your needs, your wants are needs, and they're important. It's not true, guys. This is a perfectly great machine. It's just wielding it in an odd area, like your inner thigh. No, I mean like a a chair with armrest, winged armrest. I can't wait to do some shading, and it's showing by how fast I'm deciding to do these lines when again, I know I should slow down. Instead of doing the same passes over and over again. What? What is this? What do we have here? All right. To me, this lining is probably some of my best. But what we haven't done is we haven't rinsed it away again to see where it is that we stand. So let's do that. And then we'll decide from there. Uh, Now, let's see where we stand with this. Oh man, that is so much better than that first round. Look what slowing down will do. It's crazy. Something about patience and whatnot. I don't know. I don't have a lot of it, so I don't. I don't really have any of it. So you can see, I did make a couple mistakes. There's no big deal with that. Things that I can go back and fix. But I do need to get to filling in these eyes, these eyebrows, um, and then work on some of the shading that I was talking about wanting to do. Even around this wing, there's a couple of things that are a little bit confusing with it. So I definitely want to hit that and kind of clear that up a little bit. So thank you. I mean, you can't really ask for more than being able to see some improvement. And what's good about that also is not just, my pride, but also the fact that I now know that there are certain things about my initial designs that should be able to be improved upon uh, just due to understanding a little bit more of the technique and also understanding um, a little bit more about the machine and the process itself. This is one of those areas that it really wouldn't hurt to be using the round shader. Definitely not a packing needle by any stretch, but it's kind of a smaller area. You can see I've irritated enough of the skin to I don't know if you can tell, but it's very few of these tattoos that I do. Do I have any kind of issue with bleeding and worrying about is this gonna scab and turn into a scar, or is this actually gonna you know is it gonna stick? So what I'm trying to do is I'm moving really slow with this, and it's fairly tight areas. So I'm trying to do these tiny circles, this circular motion. And what I'm hoping that does is packs, covers a lot of ground and packs the color in rather than uh, rather than going back and forth in these scratchy motions and not knowing, oh, am I, it looks like it's color, the color's going in there, maybe it's not. So turkey noodle, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to a level of perfection that I can go back in on that angel on your arm and fix some of the structural issues with it that you pointed out to me that I can now never unsee. It looked great, it looked fine, and then you had to point those out, and now I don't know what to think. Like the world is a different place now. All right. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to turn up my voltage just a little bit. Might be able to hear a shift in that. And then I'm just going to very lightly go over some of these areas. Say this. I'm just going for a really light, super light shading. Now, one of the things I don't have, no, it's not F, no better than that. One of the things I don't have right now is access to, uh, some good washes. Actually, maybe we'll turn that down a little bit more. Let's go over that, like an optimal level for this machine. Oh yeah, that's much better. So this is kind of a small piece to be trying this on. Honestly, um, what I'm going for is uh, I'm actually doing what it is that you're not supposed to do whenever you're lining, and actually using the needle. similar in a similar fashion to what I would use a pencil. Now, not so much going, back and forth, but more, a stroke in, maybe a stroke out, right? Like in and then out. And so I'm trying to find the texture of an area, and then so from the dark area of the outline on this particular face tentacle, that's something that you don't really hear every day. Just really coming in from that line and going in a direction that I think shadows might fall. Dadgum face tentacles. So it's very similar to the hatching that I was doing, but it's a little bit more dynamic into how you are using, I guess, using the needle itself, as opposed to, you know, going with straight lines, really lightly, on the skin. Now this is more like you're starting the line, and in that place that you start, it's darker, and then you quickly push out, quickly, like you go the length of the line, but at the very end you lift up, right? And it gives an almost like stippled effect up close, but and that's cool in and of itself. But then it also provides, this lovely shading, kind of. I don't know. I say lovely like that's a, you know. Oh, it provides a lovely shading. I should probably just do my stream in that voice, honestly. You wouldn't even believe the quality and richness of the shading that's provided. For those of you that are joining us, we're working on a lovely little fellow, a Cthulhu that is both cute and disastrous. Alright, I'm done. Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I think, if my personality doesn't, my ability to sound overly pretentious will definitely pick up people. I'll have like, I'm waiting for Mountain Dew and Doritos just to come running. But anyway, as I was saying earlier, this is kind of a small piece to be doing this with. So there's a lot of detail that I could put into this. And I think it would turn out fine. I just think it would be kind of wasted on the size. It might not translate well, it might not be interpreted well at a distance if I went too crazy with it. I don't want anyone, I don't think anyone wants anyone, you know, to like have to get right up on a tattoo and be like, oh, I see it now. Oh man, I thought it was a dog. Oh, I see, it's Cthulhu, the bringer of destruction, one of the old ones. Oh, yeah, I don't think anyone wants that. Yeah, especially on the upper thigh. One, anybody that wants to look at my upper thigh is gonna get like just destroyed by my wife. She is small but mighty. Oh, isn't that nice and shiny? So shiny. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I like having these things like, this is like little stories, these cool little things that only I can see whenever I like wake up in the morning or go to the bathroom. Like, oh yeah, you're right. Holy crap! Totally forgot. It's so rad that anybody in the world can order a machine that will totally just show up like at their house and allow them to permanently art themselves. I don't know. I don't know if art is a verb, but I just used it that way. Oh yeah, he totally arted himself. There he goes, just arting himself all over the place. Some of these angles are a lot easier to work at than others. I wish I could tattoo myself on somebody else's leg and then just not even understand what was going on until the next morning. Like, I think that that's like one of the rare cases where I would, at this particular moment in time, be like, yes, yep, I'm going to tattoo somebody else. Only if I can tattoo myself and they are completely like, they're cool with it. They signed a waiver and everything. And then they can see that video the next day or whatever and be like, what was that? What was I thinking? This is kind of one of those times where I really wish I could just like take my leg off and like walk around it so that I could be like, oh yes, this is the perfect way for this particular shading stroke to go for me. I love it. I think, just an aside, I just saw one of my cats out of the corner of my eye. I'm pretty sure that the attraction of the cats to this is that there is blood in the ink and that like they now realize I'm made of meat. They don't love me. They just think I'm gonna be really tasty. If you're just showing up and you don't know what the hell's going on, that's cool. Join the crowd. No, but really, like I will say, I do not condone anyone tattooing themselves or others and not being a professional. I just want to go ahead and say that. If you are a professional and you do tattoo others, hey, thanks for showing up. I know that it must be absolutely nerve wracking to watch someone whose every single tattoo is and experiment. Or maybe it's not, maybe it's refreshing. Maybe it brings you back to the days where like you were, you know, before you had to work in a pretentious industry where everyone had to do the right thing, all the time and be the best artist ever. You were doing this like, in your buddy's garage with like, crazy like prison tattoo equipment. And I can't, I don't know how many people. I didn't start off that way. I started off this way because I'm, you know, a soon to be disabled vet, and this is how I deal with it. But I just have a feeling that, there's a lot of professional tattoo artists out there who learned, their skills in a way that they would not suggest other people learn them. Turn slightly, a little bit more. This is a lot of fun. I really hope that this turns out well, because this has got to be like the coolest thing ever. Just like shading, like with a pencil, but not. It's way more fun than that. And I feel like some of it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. Again, I have to turn this slightly because it doesn't like to fit in this chair, and I could totally go get a different chair for next time. But to be honest, we'll just keep campaigning for that cool ass pen. I just heard my wife clear her throat, which means sure sucker, keep campaigning. I keep putting it in our Amazon cart, and she keeps ordering stuff and taking it out, and I just keep putting it back in because I keep hoping. You know, it's not that she won't take the hint; it's that she completely does and disagrees. And I mean, that's that's how a normal person would deal with it. Like, no, I'm not buying you this. Are you crazy? You've been tattooing your legs now for like 2 weeks. Why? What's wrong with the one that you have? And I'll tell you, nothing is wrong with the one that I have. It's just not the one that I keep putting in the Amazon cart. What do you think of that? Oh, I want to be like, hey, you remember that time you got that subscription to Martha Stewart? But let's be honest, like she probably got like some kind of special where Martha Stewart paid her to have the subscription. Where like I'm trying to spend money that we don't really need to be spending because she's like, she's cool like that, and I'm like, I hate money. Let's get rid of it as fast as possible. Yeah. Why don't you talk to her then, man? Maybe you can change your mind. Not making a very strong case. I know. I know. I try. Yes. Months from now. Exactly. It'd be such a good investment. You know? I mean, you only live once or something. That's what they keep telling me. I feel like the shading is just going crazy. I don't even know where that line came from. Holy crap. Did that come off an old tattoo? No, it did not. It came off of a crappy napkin. Guess what? I have more napkins. They're cheap. As long as you're not in the middle of a pandemic. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know why that just bogged down like that. I'm having a blast with this thing, honestly. Like, this is probably one of the most fun things that I've done once I've completed a line on a tattoo. And I know it probably doesn't look like much other than a lot of irritated skin, but um, I'm pretty sure that these cool little shading technique will actually be. I think it's going to pay off pretty well. Look at that little belly! Oh my goodness, this thing. That's the voice I use with my cat. Don't judge me. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? Oh, little Cthulhu, you gonna devour the universe? What? You're gonna end reality? Oh, aren't you just the cutest? It's really not that far from how I would actually talk to my cat because, let's be honest, if anybody in this house was gonna devour reality, it'd be my cat. Surprised he hasn't made an entrance today. I think he's just waiting by his time. Have they? I didn't even notice. They normally make a lot of noise when they're doing that. I think that, if anything is going to strike the attention of a lot of people and make them like, be like, oh yeah, we're totally following this dude. It's not going to be me, you know, on this crazy like mental health adventure. It's going to be those stupid cats doing stupid cat things while I'm just trying to live my best life, you know? Kind of shocked how quick these cartridges run out of ink. I feel like this isn't even like a long, this wouldn't even cover a long line what it is that I'm doing here. Ooh, just hit the bottom of my top hat there. Hmm. All right, so stretch that out a little bit, get a look at it. I am going to do a little bit of what I know here on the bottom of the feet here, just to add a little weight. Just going to thicken up this line. Some a little short, rounding these out, making them look a little bit more solid. I feel like there's a lot of fundamentals that come with tattooing that it's really good to not ignore. And then I feel like there's a lot of things that people do, and they say, you know, this is the way it's done, and it might not necessarily be true. And maybe it's way too early to be making that call. Maybe maybe I need to have a better understanding of these fundamentals before I start questioning how exactly they work. But I just feel like there's science and there's art, and there's a lot of science that goes on to this. Um, there's a lot of art, and I've always sucked at at art in the sense of like having the amount of respect that I guess it deserves to have. Because I've always questioned art's intention. Yes, I'm getting deep into it. Maybe I'll revisit this at some point and be like, what the hell? Yeah, the science of art. Well, so I used to, like kind of be on this not this high horse or whatever, but I used to really have this feeling that like oh, artists are they have some kind of gift or something, and I think that they do, like similar to the way that a lot of how we understand the world to be, like some people are gifted and they can create stuff, and that stuff is absolutely amazing, right? But then you have the people like I forget their names. I forget the dude's name, but like he set up this whole area in a museum, and this wasn't the first thing. This was just one of those solidifying things that I was like, you've got to be kidding me. But and I was even an art major at the time, so I should be a little bit more forgiving of that guy, right? But anyway, he set up this whole thing, and he called it an installation. And essentially, there was nothing to look at. And all these people showed up, all these rich people showed up to come and check out this installation that he had in this museum. And while they're sitting there, standing around, talking, laughing, I'm sure he had some like deep, like meaningful conversation about, whenever somebody's like, so where's the art? I'm sure he had some kind of, oh well, art is of the moment, or some bull crap, some bull crap that people pay money for. Anyway, he encouraged everyone that showed up to his reception to just ignore the rules, right? Just throw your garbage on the ground. Just you got a paper cup, throw that crap on the ground. Drink your champagne, break the glass, leave it there. Like whatever. You didn't like the expensive cheese that, I served? That's okay. Just toss it on the ground. Anyway, he convinced all these people to do just that. Just throw all their shite on the ground. And then after everyone left, he decided that was the installation. All the garbage that was on the ground. Well, I mean that's cute. Let's talk about the mass consumption of the human and what the human condition is. It's just so much garbage, or whatever philosophical crap. You could tell that I've really given up on a lot of high art. But anyway, this janitor comes in at the end of the night. Everyone's gone, even the artist. Everyone's left. Everyone's taking themselves home and Bentleys or their Rolls or whatever fresh new awesome car that they drive. And the janitor does what a janitor does. The janitor cleaned it all up, threw all the garbage away. Well, the artist was furious. And, he's like, that was an installation. Where it was garbage on the ground, bro. That's what it was. It was garbage on the ground. Well, I mean, do you think the museum was like, well, I can see where this came from? I mean, this is kind of hard to take in, man. Like you have a big old ask to expect people to, to just walk into a place in a museum, see a bunch of garbage on the ground, and not think like, oh, I should probably clean this up if it's my job. Well, the museum did not do that. The museum fired the janitor, and that was kind of the last straw for me. I mean, I think the first thing that I looked at is like, wait, that's called art. And again, I'm a fine art major at the time. I'm trying to not be super clumsy with paint, which I'm still clumsy at. I hate painting because I can't control the paint the way I want to. Right? So I can't control the paint the way I want to control the paint. The paint should go where I want it to, and that's my big struggle. And then I read about this dude who, and this, at first I was like, that sounds cool, because I don't even think I was in my 20s yet, or I was close to it, but like 19, 20 years old or whatever. I guess some people have a good head on their shoulders. I did not. I was still in that like rebellious, you know, rebellious teen years kind of mentality. But I was like reading this, and this dude, like he would go and he would take so much of his blood every day, and then he took that blood and he gathered it all up, and he made a bust, a self-portrait. My wife probably knows who all these people are that I'm talking about because she was an art history major um, for her bachelor's program. And anyway, he took all this blood, he made this self-portrait, and then he sold that crap. Like, he sold his frozen blood to a collector who just, I guess, I don't know how they did it. I don't know if they just like took it and were like, "Hey, thanks, blood ice cube." I don't know, but they took it and they put it in this freezer in their big giant home or whatever. They went on vacation and the power went out. So yeah, no, it does sound egotistical. It sounds insane. Like you're gonna make a. It sounds insane. You're gonna make a bust, right, of yourself with your own blood. I don't know, and then sell it for millions of dollars. Well, people buy it, you know. Um, and I guess that's cool. Good for him. He fooled somebody or something. That's my lookout. Anyway, uh, they were gone. The power went out. The freezer that his awesome self, bloody self was stored in, um, is gone. Like it just that was it. It melted. So they come home and guess what? He's all over the place. And his big bloody mess is everywhere. I think they paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for it whenever they bought it. And I think that they had it insured for more than what they paid for it, honestly. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure he was, man. Like, the 90s were weird, I guess. I don't know. I'm just going to go over this little parts up here one more time. And then I got one more thing that I want to try. Kind of happy with how this is turning out. I think it looks pretty good. It's lined, but at the same time, like there's some dimension that's given from this. Oh crap! What did I do? From ooh, that's cold. Ooh, man, that's cold. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that looks pretty good. And I mean, a lot of that's red. I know that's for me, and some irritation, and so that the shadowing will be pretty subtle. Like once it all calms down, but I still think that, yeah, I do think it looks good. And so I was just, this that's basically what I was trying out. I saw somebody who, I've talked about in the past. Like one of the things I want to avoid is that stereotypical scratcher definition that um, a lot of the professionals call people that are just learning and not doing a like an internship or something along those lines. They're learning, but they're learning the same way that I am, or even worse. Like they bought a tattoo machine, and their buddies are now like, kind of like, hey, well, I heard you got a tattoo machine. Can you give me a big skull on my arm? And they do it. And I mean, definitely, not what I would suggest. Uh, I mean, I can't tell you what's right or wrong. I can tell you my right and wrong, and I wouldn't feel comfortable putting a needle to somebody. I'm learning every step of the way is something new and different. Um, but I saw this guy, and he did this really rad thing. Like he turned his machine, the cartridge, 45 degrees, Oh my gosh, this thing is spitting ink everywhere like crazy, crazy maniac. It's a good thing I got plaster wrap everywhere. Anyway, he set his machine at a 45-degree angle, and then he just kind of did what the hell? Kind of did what I was given a try with, just going back and forth, using it like a pencil for once instead of listening to how you should or shouldn't do something. Why is that not picking up? Come on now, Mr. Ink Monster. Let's do this. Let's suck it up and put it down. Anyway, I really appreciated somebody like, using using something that looks like a pencil in a way that I could understand. Oh, it's a pencil. No, it's not a pencil. It's a tattoo machine. But everyone says like, oh yeah, don't be a scratcher. Not everyone says that. Just just like the professionals that I've watched, judge people on YouTube, and that makes me feel a little bit bad because I'll be honest with you, like there's some people that I follow on YouTube that are probably like the nicest people ever, and they would never say such horrible judgmental things as oh, I wouldn't even look at this dude's stuff. He obviously he's just a scratcher. Come on. I think everyone at some point in time, no one like popped out of the womb and was like, I am the god of tattooing. Oh, buddy, what are we doing here? I am the greatest at tattooing, and I was born this way, with steady hands and a fine understanding of perspective. It really would be. Could you imagine being that mom and then all of a sudden, like, you hear you hear this, and all of a sudden, like, this thing comes out, just right, mother, mother, please stay still. I must get the line work down before you start moving, mother. Where are you going? I don't know what I'm. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Anyway, all right. I think I've done the mostest damage that I plan on doing tonight. Holy crap. I just did a thing and it was awesome. No, not a good job. I mean, I feel like I've done okay. Let me just trying to clean out this cartridge real quick before I call it for the night. I'm so glad that you two showed up. Thank you. I really appreciate like as many people as I can get as possible, but especially people that understand, what I'm trying to do here and the reason that I'm doing it. That just makes me super excited, and it gives me great pleasure to be able to share it. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming for this episode of me maiming myself. But check this out. Check this out. Look, look, look. A little Cthulhu heart, and it's not outlined. What? It's just color. It's just a cute little Cthulhu heart just floating in the air. Thanks. I appreciate that. I really do. All right. So, what we have learned today, thanks. What we have learned today is that there's some fun shading things that you can do. Just adding some more of that fun little non-petroleum based uh, butter to this guy. Might as well, let's just go ahead and apply it to everything on the leg because tell you what, man, that pill, whoo, that thing is dry. The ghost got a little irritated up here. He's like, ooh, I'm sore. Yeah, I know, buddy. And then, yesterday's tattoo, I think that actually, if I can look at something that in the next day and be like, bet that's awesome. Like we're good. So we'll see. We'll see how the how Baby Cthulhu handles his fun shading. I like it. I think that one of the good things about doing it this way is I have set it up to be in color. If I want to go back, it doesn't have to just be, this black and gray work. I can go back in and work with some purples to a lighter purple, and even highlights with white if I want to at some point in time, or blues or greens or whatever color I want to make them. And I've already put a pretty good foundation of shading in there. So again, like this, a lot of this stuff is red, from irritation more than it is from ink. That'll calm down, and the gray will stick a little bit more. For my first time doing it in this way, I don't feel like got to go deep with white ink. They say that, but I don't think that that's true. You got to go slow. That's what I found with most of this stuff is your body's ability to take in something. You never want to go past a certain layer of thickness with your ink, right? Because you have that top layer, and then you come down to that second layer, and that's where you're trying to put the ink is beyond the top layer into the second layer, where whenever the top layer dies and gets old, flakes off or whatever, that second layer is what's permanently going to make it dark. And then on that third layer that's down there, it's all fat. And this is why I come back to this is a non-petroleum based oil, even though it's still oil, and that's not good because every one of these inks is water based, and that's what happens with the blowout. Is I'm not trying to, man, I'm not trying to give you like something, I'm not trying to like lecture you, but this is something, it's just something that I learned, and I thought was fascinating because I thought the same thing. You got to go deep with certain colors, but once you go so far, you're it doesn't stay tight, it spreads out, because you've got this liquid, this water based ink that's hitting fat and oil. um, I'm not either. But it hits fat, it hits oil, like this oily fat, and it just spreads out. And that's what a blowout is. So on some of these darker areas, I still don't think that I've ever given myself outside of like, areas that I know that I've torn up for filling. But as far as my lines are concerned, I don't think I've I don't think I've hit like blowout status yet, where the black ink goes so deep that it spreads out a little bit, and and then it looks like you have a permanent bruise, and it's very small. If you're using a very small needle or very small lining, it's very small, it's very minute. But on bigger stuff, like it can spread out, and then you get like this, a blue or gray discoloration that just doesn't go away. Like it just, like it's outside of the lines that you drew. It's like a fuzz or a fade or something like that. But anyway, I don't know what that would look like with white, but from what I understand, it's just, you know, uh, bigger, like maybe a bigger needle grouping, and you just move slow with it for white. Um, what's cool is, let's wipe that off, is that one day we'll find out. So I do have some white. I do plan on using that white. Uh, is just straight white. I also plan on mixing it, seeing how it mixes with red, or some of the blue that I have, maybe even some of the black as a good gray, and we get a little inventive. Like I said, I mean, I'm definitely not running out of new things to do. I'm just uh, I think that I'm starting to get better with some of the fundamentals with the lining, and now I'm really focusing on trying to find new ways to shade, and yeah, that'll be that. So that being said, yeah, did a lot of cool stuff tonight, and really appreciate you guys showing up and keeping me company and keeping me honest with it. Um, I will be backing up these videos to the tubes of the U. I don't know. Nobody says that. And then um, thank you. I appreciate it. You have a good night as well, and I will see you guys hopefully. I can't snap in these gloves tomorrow. All right. Later.